And I promised you guys that we were going to have my sister in the house today. You guys saw the post up on Facebook about what we were going to do. I hope that you guys are all here and ready for my sister to talk. But just like we did last week, I kind of missed this jingle. So I'm just going to put that out whilst I try to get some people on, and then we can get the show on the road. I'll get my sister to have her seat and grab some water, and then we can start talking. So let's play some music for a minute and 12 seconds exactly, and then we will start the show today. If you're here, say hello so I know that you're here and I can acknowledge you. Okay? We'll be right back.
Sika educate, yeah, what Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Sika educate, yeah, Cassava, Abum, our real impunto. Sika educate, or don't come up, run, yeah, who are true. Sika educate, Unyani baby, Sika educate. Ain't like you page, you know, I am vibe. But more than YouTube, ho, subscribe it. Sika educate is the name. All our man them source and they come from inspiration, motivation, Wapomuden, education. Wafranada, when it's here, or don't come or Ekusika deba. Wafranada, Bema, Jai, or don't come or Ekusika deba. Sika educate, yeah, what Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Sika educate, yeah, Cassava, Abum, our real impunto. Sika educate, or don't come up, run, yeah, who are true. Sika educate.
Right, we are back, and I'm so excited to have my sister that we had last week who came to talk to us about goal setting back in the house today to take this whole conversation to another level and to talk to us today about setting the goals, but also having the mindset to back the goal setting so that you set yourself up for success. Now, my darling sister, are you in the house? Can you hear me? If you can you unmute yourself? And the floor is yours.
Hello, Sika, and good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone around the world who's listening to us. I see that somebody said listening to us from Johannesburg. So we just
Wow.
want to welcome everyone from around the world who is joining us this afternoon. It's currently 1 p.m. here in Calgary. And I just want to thank everyone for being here, and thank you, Sika, for having me as well. Okay, so today we just want to talk about, and as we are talking, our sister is going to share the link. So Sika is going to share the link, and if you have any questions, your contribution, you can join in the discussion, and then also if you can also like put your question in the comment section as well. We also encourage everyone, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then also please share with your friends and family. Um, that way you support Sika Educates. We want everyone from around the world to hear Sika Educates and to be able to join us whenever we are discussing. Right? And Sika is also an ambassador for Tap Tap Send. So if you want to send money to loved ones, please do so using Sika's code. Okay, Sika, your code is available for people to use, right?
AKUSIKA. Akusika, one word. AKUSIKA. It's also on the bottom of the screen. It keeps going back and forth, so you guys can catch
Yeah.
that as well.
Okay, thank you. So if you want to send money to your loved ones, please use TapTap Send and support Sika by using Sika's code. Thank you. So today we're just gonna talk about how our mindset can affect the way we set our goals or how we can achieve our goals. So, really, the most important thing when we talk about mindset is the way we think, the way and the amount of thoughts that we process during the day. And really, as an individual, you can only process two thoughts. Either you process negative thoughts or you can process positive thoughts. And those actually have a very um, a huge impact on how you can achieve your goals. So we talked about setting goals last week, right?
Mhm.
But how you can achieve those goals will also depend on your mindset. Okay? So we want to really go back and really examine ourselves. It's a new year. We're excited. We want to lose weight. We want to be more financially stable this year, or we want to grow our family. We want to maybe start a new go back to school. We all have different goals and things that we want to achieve in 2023. But what is your mindset towards those goals that you want to achieve? And what we want to address this afternoon is how we can change some of our mindsets. Okay? So I just want to go much more into the spiritual realm where whatever the words that we speak, the Bible says that they are words, they have power behind them, right? And whatever comes from the mouth is from the heart.
True.
So whatever you are saying from your mouth is from your heart. It's something you've processed over and over and over and over again. You didn't just get up one day and said something. You didn't just get up one day and said you love someone. You didn't just get up one day and say you hate someone. It is something that you have processed in your mind. So your mindset is very important what you put into your mind. And in achieving our goals in 2023, it's very crucial that we tackle and work right from the first week on our minds. Okay? It says, well, you think, therefore, I am. Whatever you think, that's what you become. You can, if you think that you are an orange, you will become an orange. And most of the time, we have the misconception is that the way people see us is who we are. No, it's the way you think about yourself. That is who you are. Okay? So we really have to think about the power of our mindset, the power of the things that we put in our minds. So, how can we work? How can we work to change our mindset in order for us to achieve our goals? So, one of the first key is, first of all, identify who you are and know the type of thoughts you always cultivate to. Like, if you are someone who is always thinking negative, and when I say thinking negative, you always think that anything you do, you will fail. So even though you have a New Year resolution that this year I'm going to save more money, but somehow in your mind you're like, my rent is 1,000, my income is 3,000, rent is 1,500, car payment is $300, insurance is this. Oh, by the time I'm done buying food, buying gas, going back to work, or even if I have to take public transport, by the time I buy my monthly pass, do this. Oh, there's not going to be any money left. So this New Year resolution of saving money is not going to work. Or if you say, oh, my salary is 200 Ghana. Now by the time I take transportation, go to work, feed, there will be no money left, right? So are you that kind of person who is overthinking everything and thinking negative? So you have to identify what you are thinking in your mind always. Is it always negative? And if it's always negative, then you need to work on it. Okay. And the first thing that you can do, I know this is very unconventional, especially for us Black people, is you can actually start by writing them down. Okay. So, one of the things you can do is to write your thoughts down so that you identify whether you are, most of the time, you are thinking negative or you are thinking positive. Okay. So, if you find yourself dwelling on something over and over and over again, the best way is you write it down and then find another time. So, do that for like maybe a week or a couple of days and then sit down and review them and see, are these good thoughts? And are these thoughts going to help me achieve my goals that I have set for 2023? And if they are not, then you want to switch out those thoughts. It's like you have a flat tire. A flat tire is not going to carry you on to your next journey. So what you want to do is you want to switch your flat tire either by putting air in that tire, or maybe you need to get a whole brand new tire, right? So if you're constantly thinking negative about yourself, and sometimes some of these negative thoughts, it also leads to self-shaming, right? And self-shaming, an example of self-shaming is like you start comparing yourself to people. Oh, this one is 40 years old just like me. She has a house, she has a brand new car. Look at my car. My car is started. My car is falling apart. In fact, the bumper is falling off. Oh, this is my classmate now. It's a prime minister. Me, look at me. Look at where I am. I don't even have a piece of land to my name. You know, then you start self-shaming. I'm still renting. I'm still doing this. You look at the way I look. You see your friends, and then instead of you to embrace them because they're doing well, to ask them, "Oh, how are you doing it? And what did you do?" You are self-shaming yourself to the point that when they even call you, you don't even pick up, or when you see them, you want to hide. All these are part of your mental states. Okay. And it's part of self-shaming, that you are using your own mind to shame yourself. Nobody even said anything to you, but you are self-shaming because you're comparing yourself to someone who you are hiding from. And this one has 3 houses, and this one, I went to Ghana, and this one is driving this very brand new car. Look at me here, I'm still taking public transit, right? Self-shaming as a result of your thoughts. All these things can affect how you can achieve your goals.
This is the powerhouse. Like, I've written all the things, the comments here that my sister has been talking about. The only thing that I want to say, two things. The first one is that if you want to join in the conversation, please, please, please just follow the link through. Come in the house. We'll give you a few minutes to share your thoughts on what's been said so far, and we will let you go and we'll continue the conversation. But I like one of the things that my sister talked about, which was write the things that make you, or the thoughts that come into your mind that are negative all of the time, and start to review them. Think about other ways to get those thoughts out of your mind and start focusing on the things that are going to help you feel better about yourself so that you can do different things. Where in 2023, we've all written down all these fantastic goals about things that we want to see happen in our lives. None of them is going to come to fruition if the mindset that needs to back you in order for you to have the ability, the energy, the zeal, everything that you need to take you to the next level to happen, right? There's so many of us who have things that are limiting beliefs from back in the day, things that you don't even recognize. I'll give an example. As us Black African women in our community, there's so many things that you are told you can't do. Oh, you're a woman. You can't do what men do. Mathematics is not for women. You can't do engineering. You can't do science. As for women, all you can do is reading and English. You can't do technology. You can't do engineering. You can't do science, right? But some of the people, the astronauts that are going up there, a lot of them are women. They have the same features, the boobs, the nyash, everything. They have the same things that classifies people as women. I'm sat here as somebody who did science and ended up in engineering, right? And back in the day, I'm going back 22 years. I'm into my 23rd year in September when I walked into the faculties of engineering back in Ghana and wrote down my name as somebody who wanted to study engineering. And everybody was looking at me funny, thinking, why? Why does she want to do engineering? In my class of 112, if I remember correctly, there weren't more than 12 or 14 of us girls. By the end of the first year, some of us actually left. So the ones that stayed on, there wouldn't be more than 12, maybe 10. Can't remember exactly. But there were definitely 10 times more men than girls in the class. Do you know the sorts of things that I would hear? Oh, you're a nerd. You're never going to get married. How can you be doing engineering? Are you sure you're okay? All sorts of things. And some of us, without realizing, internalize these things. We actually believe that because we are women, there's certain things that we cannot do. A lot of us, because of that, think that our lives will never be complete until there is a man in your life. I'm not saying having a man is bad. I'm not saying don't get
Mm.
married. But I'm saying that if you have this belief that you're a woman, and because you're a woman, you're less than, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you're a woman, there's some people here. My sister will verify in a second that there are women here in 2023 who believe that they can't buy a house if they don't have husband. They can't own a house by themselves without a man. They can't build a house without a man. They can't set up business without a man. Why would you think things like these are deep seated thoughts that we have been fed with, lies from the pit of hell that have made us all think that we somehow we are less than, because some people say, oh, the women are the weaker sex. Really? Really? Like the women who are prime ministers and presidents and things of countries. Don't you see the sorts of things that go on? Right? The mind is a very powerful tool. You have so much control over what you choose to believe. It's not about what somebody believes about you, you yourself, because this is your mind. What do you believe? So if you think that you can't do anything because you're not married, meanwhile, you have 10 fingers, you have a job, you're earning money, you're not putting anything aside, you're not doing anything, and you're sat there thinking, waiting. There has to take a man for you to make progress in your life, my darling. Can you see how you be waiting for a very long time? Because unless the man comes, you're not moving. What if the man that is meant for you is now being prepped to meet you? What if the woman that you need in your life is now being designed somewhere waiting for you? Are you going to sit there and is your destiny going to be put on hold because you're waiting for somebody that hasn't come yet in your life? Somebody says mindset is computer programming. I love your way of saying it. But your mind is such a powerful tool. If only we will shift our thinking, the energy that we back our thoughts with, you will see different things, completely different things that will happen in your lives. I don't want to take over what my sister wants to say. I will just pack it here for a second and let her continue. My darling, are you here?
Thank you, Sika. Thank you, Sika. Yes. So the mind is a very powerful tool, and it really shapes the outlook of our lives. So it's very, very, very important. Please, I hope people have their notebooks and they're writing down some of these little nuggets that we are dropping this afternoon. Okay, so the next really big thing is the way people say, this is just who I am. Why are you thinking negative? Oh, that's just who I am. Why do you continue to draw on your past? Past what happened in 2022, some father that neglected you and abandoned you and your mother 350 years ago. You know, some money that someone did not give you to go and buy your jam registration form. That's wicked uncle that didn't help you. That is what is still in your mind. Those are all negative thoughts. Those are all negative thoughts. So if you are processing and holding on to things that people have done to you, and you wake up every day reciting it in your mind, oh, my father was wicked. When he died, he didn't leave me anything. Oh, my mom is so wicked. My mom did not help me. When I wanted to travel, she had this land. I told her to sell it. She didn't sell it for me to travel. I had to walk on the Libya desert. So my mom is wicked. You keep recycling it, saying it to yourself. In fact, you already started saying it to your next generation about what your mom did to you. And then if anybody says, you say, this is who I am. You need to quit saying this is who I am. So that's why I said it's important for you to write down those thoughts. Write them down. Write them down. Because as you keep on festering on those thoughts, they take away your ability to come up with what we call solution-oriented thinking. Okay? Because you're so physiated. Or maybe, for example, maybe you went to go do your, and you had to write your driving test. You know, and you are in a foreign country, you might have to write it maybe in Dutch, or you have to write it in a language that you never know, but you're just trying your best. You go and write the first time, you fail. Does that mean that when you write it the second time, you fail? You already now say, oh, when I went it, I failed. There's no need, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to try anymore. They will fail me anyways. After all, it's not my language. Why am I even forcing myself? But you know that driver's license will open the door for you. Maybe you can now start driving Uber, or you might now try to now do some hustle, be a delivery driver, right? As opposed to do a job that maybe will allow you to not pick your hours, or you do a job that can supplement your income, so that financial stronghold that you are being held in, that you are not able to save any money, you can now get a side gig to now have extra money. But because you are physiated on the fact that you're going to fail, you are processing that in your mind. And if anybody says that, you'll be like, oh, this is who I am, and you are always busy. You always have a negative answer to everything. If you want to achieve your goals in 2023, you need to quit. You need to quit saying this is who I am. Nobody is who they are. They say change is the only constant thing in life.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you cannot be the same as you were in 2022. Because you need to move to 2023 a changed person with a changed mindset, so that you can achieve all the goals that you have set for yourself. You can't say this is who I am. So instead of being fixated on your problems, focus on the solution. Move from, why am I going through this? If only my auntie would not have said mean words to me, I would feel this way about myself. If only my teacher was not so mean. My math teacher was such a hard marker. So because of that, I quit math. And now look at who I am, right? Instead of being fixated on all those things, you should ask yourself, how can I overcome? How can I change this? How can I turn the things around for myself? Right?
Yeah.
So we should focus on solutions. So let's say you want to go to school.
Mhm.
Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you need to figure out what course you want to do.
Mhm.
And then you have to figure out how you're going to do that course with all your workload, right? Instead of
Mhm.
starting to complain, oh, I have work 9 to 5, after I don't even have 1 minute to sleep, no breath, no this, no that. No. Solution. Be solution oriented person this year. In your workplace, ask how. How can I help? How can I learn? How can I be of how can I be a better team member? So move from blame, complaining, whining, negativity to how can I change this? How can I help? Because solution to problems is what has made many people multi-millionaires and billionaires. If you are not a problem solver, then don't it's going to be hard for you to achieve any sort of goal that will bring growth into your life.
Mhm.
You need to solve problems. That's the only way you sustain yourself in life. So you need to free your mind of difficulties, negativities, and then allow solution, process solution. You see something going on wrong. Instead of blaming, you say, okay, how can I fix this? Maybe do I if I need to, I have, let's say for example, you want to buy a house, okay?
Mhm.
Then you went to the bank. You went and you told the bank, oh, I want to see if I can qualify for mortgage. The banker goes in and tells you, madam, your credit score is 400 and something, and you need 600 and so let's say your credit score is 400 and something, so you don't qualify for mortgage. Instead of coming home and saying, oh, the bank even told me I don't qualify you, I guess this one is the end. Instead of saying that, you should do a follow-up question to the banker and say, how can I improve my credit score so I can qualify for a mortgage?
Mhm.
So instead of
Mhm.
taking no from the bank, you say how. You give them the question. And this is all part of how we improve ourselves mentally in order for us to really achieve everything that we want to achieve, all the goals that we have set, whether it's family, whether it's our spirituality, whether it's our intellectual goals, whether it's our social goal. Let how lead you. Always do a follow-up question. Just because somebody they said no doesn't mean it's the end. Ask how. And then maybe the banker will be like, oh, right now your credit score is 440, but you need to have a credit score of 640. How can I improve? They'll be like, okay, maybe you went to go take Future Shop credit card and you haven't paid. Maybe you need to pay it all up. They will now give you details. Oh, this is where you have a student loan, you haven't paid, you're delinquent. You pay, you if you pay it and come back in the next 6 months. They will now give you a solution to your problem, and that solution you take it and then you go and then you apply it. So our mindset should be the mindset which is solution oriented, that solves problems,
Mhm.
does not build on problems, but rather solve problems. And the best way, if you are someone who never ever solve problem, the best way is always to ask how. How can I do it?
Mhm.
So write down this to yourself. How, when they say no to me, my follow-up question is, how can I change the situation?
Oh, this is just, it's as if somebody has poured warm water or cold water over you. Depends on where you are and the sort of effect you're going to get. If you're here and it's freezing cold, you want hot water. But I'm just going to give two examples to what my sister said, because these are two women that I knew personally and I saw do things. And that's what inspires me to be better every day. I have absolutely no excuse, right? One of the people that inspires me so much, and I don't mean this to be cliche or anything, is my own mother, right? My mother was a child born in a family of five people, and her mom died before she was 10. She could have said, my mom died when I was my mom died when I was only 10, and I had to step up as the big sister to look after my younger siblings, and nothing happened. So that's why I couldn't go to school and this and that. But one thing that I give credit to my granddad for was that he was determined that whether he had daughters or sons, he was going to give them all equal opportunities to go to school. So whether you were male or female, they all went to school. He had four daughters and one son. The son was the oldest child, followed by four daughters, and they all had equal opportunity to go to school. Okay. My mom ended up a teacher, a trained teacher from Cape Coast University, met my dad, got married, children, all of that. She went through so many different jobs. But after she had us, she realized, well, with this salary as a trained teacher back in Ghana, well, how am I going to do anything with this? I have four daughters. I need my children to be better than me. This woman at late 30s, early 40s, we all sit down at the dining table after dinner. If you guys lived in Ghana or know what it is like to be in Africa back in the 80s and 90s, the lights will be off. We have two big lanterns in the middle of the table, and that's what's giving light for us to sit down on your nyash and do your homework. And this 40-year-old woman is sat there doing homework with her 6-year-old daughter and her 16-year-old daughter, and we are all doing homework, right? We got our homework done. You have to study for this exam. This one has a chemistry test. This one has this, and on and on and on. She did that. She got a job in a bank. Okay, better job, better paying job to support her husband, to be able to raise these girls, take them to the top schools that they wanted to go, and afford to pay the fees. It didn't stop there. Okay, these girls, they don't seem to do well in this particular subject. So yeah, they need extra tuition. They invested everything to make their daughters, including me, the people that you are seeing today. It didn't stop there. Oh. This woman calls me at the age of mid 50s. I'm like, ah, bah. This woman, like, you have enough. What is all of this? Oh no, I need to go to law school. When I retire, I don't want to have to be dependent on you guys. You guys have your own lives to live. The way the world is going, I need to do. So she went back to school in her mid 50s. It took her 6 years to get the law degree. But by her 60th birthday, guess what? She was called to the bar. I have the picture and I look at it sometimes and I'm like, wow, I ain't got no excuse to sit around and not make things happen. There's so many of us listening here today. It doesn't have to be a degree or a doctorate or something, but there's some skill that you're lacking that is going to get you from point A to B. You just need to sit back down. It could be these days there's formal and informal education. It doesn't have to be a classroom thing. It could be something as simple as a webinar, a course that you need to buy, invest in yourself, change your mindset, something. Mm-mm. No, you much rather use that money to buy the latest, fanciest clothes. And the mindset is, why should I give however much it is to a Kwamua's course so that she would have the money and I have to come and learn from Ekua? Well, why should I do that? Who are you hurting? But this is how we are in our community. Some other people also have the viewpoint that, oh, I'm too old. At 50, my mind is all this thing. When I study it, I don't know how I'm going to make it work. Do you know what this woman had in her 50s? She had 4 children. She was a wife, a mom, a bank manager, and still taking this course. The course was being done 400 kilometers from where she worked. So she works Monday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday. She gets on a thing, drive all the way down to the place where the course is being taken for 6 years. Mhm. Until she got her degree, because that is what she wanted. And today, 10 years and plus over, she's still practicing her law and doing her thing, right? It doesn't have to be law, it doesn't have to be a degree. You know, there's something that you need to do. Maybe it's going to learn how to sew, because you know you have the eyes and the art for it, but you need to polish that skill, that vocation that you're good at, but you're sitting there and crying to me that you don't have money. The second story is about a young lady who had nothing. I told the story earlier. Nothing, nothing, nothing. She was a housewife, she had had children, and she was also in that limited belief mindset that the only way to make it is to have a husband. The husband had left her with 2 children, and her parents had died, and now she had 2 other mouths to feed. So 4 children for a 27-year-old lady when I met her. She had the drive, the determination, but all these mindsets beliefs that it's a man that has to do this for me, a man has to look after me. I'm like, my darling, you'll be waiting a lifetime. 6 years on, this woman has set herself up her own business. She can afford to pay the school fees, not just of her own 2 girls, but her siblings that live with her as well. Very soon, she's buying land. She wants to build a house so she doesn't have to be renting off anybody anymore. An accomplished businesswoman in her own right. What are you waiting for? My sister has talked so much about mindset change. It all starts here. What you see here, you are what you think. If you think you can't do it, you can't do it. If you think it is possible, it is possible. And my sister said something that is so profound. Don't take no for an answer. No, you can't. The doctor said, I can't. So you've also accepted that you can't. Well, then you can't, right? But if you want to believe against all the odds that you have that power inside of you, and that you're able to make things happen in your life, guess what? It does actually happen. It does happen. It all starts here and what you see. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If this thing here connected to that thing there is all jargon and rubbish, guess what? Rubbish is all that comes out. If you believe it, you can make it happen. Ikwamwe, the floor is yours.
Oh, Sika, thank you for those great examples. And I just wanted to also add some of these examples, like something very as common as some people, like let's say that has happened in our own community where people wanted to. So I guess what had happened in the 80s is what is happening now. Is when there was increase in mortgage interest rates. So what had happened was a lot of people lost their house because interest rates went up as high as 14%. And with that, that's a lot of interest that you're going to pay on your mortgage. So quite a few people lost their homes because of that. And as a result of that, there was so much circulation in our community, in the African community, immigrant community, that if you buy a house, the bank will come and take it. And many people, for that reason, did not buy or even thought about buying their own homes. And this lie was circulated around for so long, for so many years, for so many generations. And then now, when you're living in a place like Ontario or living in Toronto, the average home now is 1 point something million. So the people that bought like in like early 2000, early 90s, that bought houses for 200,000, 300,000, their
They're
houses are
laughing.
now appreciated so many, like they're just swimming in cash. But those who continue to listen to the lie that if you buy a house, your wife will kill you, or your wife will divorce you and take your house, or if you buy a house, the bank will come and take it away from you. They are now retired with no money. And the other lies that most people also keep propagating is that, oh, if you work, they will tax all your money. So people will rather either choose to be on the system, or even if they choose not to be in the system, they try not to have, as any means possible, not to pay any form of taxes at their own detriment, because they don't know that the taxes, part of the money is your pension that's been deducted from your payroll. So now you're 60, 65, and because you did not ask how, if they tell you that they're going to take all your taxes, you sort of asking, how can I pay less taxes? Going to see a financial consultant, going to see an accountant, because they did not ask how, they listened to the lie. Now you're 65 and you go and then you file for your pension, and they said, oh yeah, your monthly pension, you can only qualify for $20. So when we are talking about mindset, like, this is very serious in how we can achieve our goals. The one who did not ask, how can I save money on my taxes? And the one who did not ask, how can I prevent the bank? If I buy a house, how can I prevent the bank from repossessing my house? They've lost out in an investment that could have ended them at least $1 million at the age of 60.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one who did not ask, how can I pay less taxes, has now have no pension.
Mm-hmm.
At 60, what are you going to go do? If you go and apply for government help, they're only going to give you, the money they're going to give you is not even enough for you to even rent a shack in Ontario. Mindset. In order for us to achieve our goals in 2023, it's very important that we know that our mind is very powerful. Our mindset can make us, it can break us, it can determine the quality of life that we live. It can determine how long we can live for.
Mm.
So our mindset, I know we already talked about it, it has to be solution oriented. Okay? And the last thing that I wanted to share is that our mindset should be a mind that is ready for growth.
Mm.
Growth mindset. If you go to some of the elementary schools here in Canada, they teach the children growth mindset as a way of learning. So, what do we mean growth mindset? You should be able to replace all those negative thoughts with positive thoughts. Those positive thoughts that you're replacing with should be solution oriented thoughts, and those thoughts should be able to produce fruits. So if you go to the bank and the bank tells you that your credit rate is 440, and in order for you to be able to qualify for a mortgage, you have to have 640, you need to go back to the drawing board. Which credit cards do I need to pay off in order for me to
Mm-hmm.
get my credit to that score? That is
Uh-huh.
growth,
Mm-hmm.
because you are actioning on the solution that was provided for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you are being told that you're going to pay a lot of taxes, you ask your accountant, how can I pay less taxes? Your accountant makes suggestions for you. Maybe you need to buy RSPs, right? Maybe you need to do more charity giving, or maybe you need to register yourself as an incorporated business, right? So that you can expend some of these things, some of the things that you're spending money on. You're listening to your accountant, you'll come home and then you action on those things that your accountant told you.
Mm-hmm.
That is what a growth mindset is. A growth mindset is a mind that is ready for solutions, that is ready to act on all of those solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to achieve both your any goal that you want to achieve in 2023, you cannot achieve it unless you cultivate this idea of having a growth mindset.
Mm. 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 Like this is just yeah, a bit much. To touch on the growth mindset thing that my sister was talking about, that's a very important point, because some of the things that are wrong with us when it comes to going from a limited belief to a growth mindset thing is that you belittle other people. I've seen a lot of that in my time on social media as well. So I have my sister Ekuamua, full of knowledge about so many things. She lived in Canada and she's been here much longer than I have. You can't go to a destination on your own. You cannot know everything. So I have my sister in my circles. I love her dearly and everything. She's my mom in Calgary. She's my everything. My nurse, my mom, my everything. Right? Now, the thing is, the key to all of the things that my sister was talking about in this last point is being humble and being teachable. How many of us have the humility to accept the fact that this thing that my sister is talking about with this whole financial thing, and I have to go to my bank, I don't know, maybe I should ask her, I should call her, I should talk to her, ask her if she can come with me to the bank, tell me what the salient points are so I can write them down, and when I actually go to the bank I don't forget them and I can ask. There's a story about somebody who needed some help with something, right? You need help. You've just moved to a new place. You need help. You need people to help you when you've moved to a new place that you don't understand, to help you find a school for your children, for example, or help you get on the property ladder. The person says, "Oh, I'm available once every fortnight on a Monday. So you come. I'm at home. Just come and let's get this done." Instead of prioritizing this thing, if it's really something that is important to you, that you know that you need to get done, oh, this girl cry, I mean, she's just coming to come and worry me. I this thing, we'll think about it later, we'll do it later. If you don't show the zeal and the willingness to learn, who has time for you? Like, if you don't make it, how is that my problem? I don't care. I'm busy living my own life. We shoot ourselves in the foot. One, because we're not coachable or teachable. We don't have that humility to pay attention to what other people are saying. Either because you think that you're better off than this person. Ah, but how can I go? How can I be go and sit down and allow this person that I'm 20 years older than to now be teaching me what I should do? Because you think that you're older than somebody, you think that you should know everything and be better off than them because you're older than them. Haven't you seen children, even children, teaching you adults something? In 2023, our teenagers and people know a lot more about gadgets, electronics, technology, and all of that, especially when it comes to these social media things, much more than you do. You are in your 60s now. When those things were being designed and developed, when you should have paid attention, you were busy going for funerals and church services and parties and doing the things that might equally be important, but you didn't put any focus or attention to getting abreast with the time. Whether we like it or not, there's a skill set gap between us in our 40s and our children who are teenagers and in their early 20s. Whether you like it or not, this is the fact of the matter in our community. But how many of us have the ability to humble themselves? You're living with your 15-year-old teenager who knows how to do TikTok videos and edit them, and you're sat there crying that you ain't got no money. You want to do video or content creation, and you're sat there because you think, that this small girl, this small boy that I gave birth to, I should come and sit down and allow my son to come and teach me how. No, no. And you're sat there, and life is passing you by. There's so many mothers and fathers in the house, and I saw this a lot in England. Can you believe that there's so many single moms today? They don't even know how to withdraw money from their own bank account. Their children know their password, know their PIN, know their everything. It's their children that run the show because you ain't no jack about what's going on. And yet you live in England, you live in Germany, you live in the West, you live in Canada. There's all these adult education programs that you can go to. A lot of them are free. Free in Canada here, they are free. There's something about immigrants orientation something. Siwa is down there in Calgary, downtown. And I'm sure there's similar things across the country. Which one of them have you gone to? You're still waiting for that friend of yours to finish work 3 weeks' time and come home and then take you to the bank because you know English. Me know English. Which means you can't speak English, right? And yet there are these things that are offered for free. We are so scared. We don't want to ask no questions. We sit there and we're so proud and arrogant that we will not humble ourselves and ask the questions. You've moved from your country to the West where there's so much opportunity. Oh my goodness. But will we take advantage of opportunity? No. The government has put in so many grants that are available for older people that want to go to school to do so. Everything is set up in its place. But all you're interested in is how to get the government housing, how to sit at home and sit on welfare and not do anything so that you can get other people to look after you because you think you're the smart one. And let those other people who don't know what their life is about to go to the school and do the work, and then they will look after you as if the government owes you something. But what you don't realize is that you're eating your chicks before they are hatched, or your eggs before they are hatched into chicks. When you're old and now they've put nails and bolts in your knee and your waist and your back and your nyash, and you can't stand up vertically, and you're standing tilted like this. Now you're poor. You don't have a dime to even heat your own home. Can't afford milk, nothing. Then you go around and you become a poverty alleviation scheme, begging for money all over the case and disturbing your children, who, by the way, have their own lives to lead and figure out as well. Like, there's so many problems that we have with mindset in our community. And the earlier we have this paradigm shift in our thinking, and begin to do the things that are necessary to drive us forward as a people, we are not going anywhere in a hurry. And it's really sad. It is really, really sad that the people who need the help the most are the people also who would least go out there and get the help. I am exposed to so much. You see people with 10 children, 10 different surnames, which means 10 different baby daddies. Like, what is wrong with you? Right? The mindset is so, oh, the more children I have, the more I can continue to rely on the system. Yeah, the system is there to look after children. So you're just having them because you never want to get out there and work. Legitimate work. But you're forgetting about tomorrow and your pension scheme and what you need to be able to survive. This is something that's very passionate for me, and I don't want to go on and on about it. I'm going to get my sister to come back whilst we wrap up because we're not going to be sitting here and going on and on anymore. An hour 10 tops. We're done. We go. If you have something that you want to say, you have the last chance to say it. I'm going to share the link in the comments section. My darling, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Sika, for those important points. Really taking advantage of resources. And that's the reason why I really want us to shift our mindset from dwelling on the things that we say, oh, this is who I am. I didn't go to school, so I don't know how to read. All those things are possible. I personally know somebody who was French African, and she's been able to go to this adult school, learn English, and now she's a licensed registered nurse. Okay,
Mhm,
licensed
mhm,
registered nurse, right? So if she can do it, anybody can do it, right?
mhm,
So we need to come to the place where we move from growth, we grow our mind, right? And nobody's asking you to go get a master's degree, a PhD, or anything, but do what is sustainable, do what will help you better your life, because a mindset change will affect the way you live your life. It will affect your future. It will transform you. I gave the example of, those who decided not to buy a house because they were afraid the banks would take from them, right? And then also those who, if you don't ask how, always ask how. There's always solution to every problem you're going through. Every problem, regardless what it is, whether it's health, whether it's your mental health, whether it's with your children, whatever problem you're going through, you can always find solutions to them. There's resources that's available to you. Don't sit there and keep on thinking about it. You get high blood pressure, right?
mhm,
Thinking, meditating on the negative, thinking on how inadequate you are, and going back to that self-shaming, please. Self-shaming, comparing yourself, then you're and that's self-shaming too, because you are thinking about it, then somebody else will go, oh, look at what your mates are doing. Look at you,
mhm,
right? So the self-shaming has to stop. And that's what I
mm,
said. Write down a thoughts that keep coming to your mind. My mother did not take me to school. My father sent me out to this. They took me out. All those thoughts that you keep on holding to it, the negative thoughts, unforgiveness, the past. One thing you have to know is that money you can always recover, but time
mm,
that you lose, you can never get back. So
mm,
use your time effectively. Use your time more efficiently. Don't
mm,
use your time thinking about the bad things that happened to you, the bad things that happened in the past, the things that you tried that didn't work. Do you know that the average person will start a business more than 5 times before they can actually have a business that's actually succeeding? So
mm,
nothing that you start the first day will bloom into something very successful. So
mm,
that does not mean it's the end. It's never the end. It's actually just the beginning, because now you've already have gone through the experience. So now you know how to better situate yourself when you're starting again. So don't think because you started before and you failed. So you're carrying that mindset with you that if I do it again, I will fail. Don't. So replace all of those things. How can I do better this time? The how can is a very, very, very great thing for you to put in the bag. If you didn't take anything from this whole session,
mm,
take this how can. How can I do better? How can I improve? How can I change myself from being a renter to a homeowner? How can I plan for my retirement? How can I live the dream that I want to live? How can I achieve my goals? The
mm,
how can is very, very, very important that we carry the how can with us every day, because one of the things that we have to know is that the world is changing and we
mhm,
must also change with it.
mhm,
And if we ourselves, whether we are parents, whether we are young men or women, or whether we are at an older age, middle age, we still can still make a change in our lifestyle, in our destiny. and the way we want to, only if we change our mindset, right? As the way you think, that is how you're going to become. So if you think that you are a great person, that greatness lives inside of you, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
be great. If you think that you can do everything that God has equipped you with, many great talent, you'll be able to do great things. But if you dump on yourself constantly, look down on yourself, then you cannot achieve any goal. You can't. You're going to be doing things halfway. You're going to make, you're just going to feel emotionally drained. Your mood, it's just not going to work out. So one of the things I wanted to say is that if you're the kind of person so that you find yourself always thinking about a lot of negative thoughts or a lot of negativity, that one of the things that you can do, apart from writing down those thoughts and going back and reviewing it, is also, if you're not a writer, draw those thoughts out, draw it, sketch it, and then go back and review them as well. The other thing you can also do is you can also listen to music that calms your spirit down, and then use that as a way for you to meditate. Or and you should think about what music that you want to listen to. You could, for because some people, it could just be some jazz music, right? Some people it could be a gospel music. Some people can be some classical music, right? So play music in the environment to calm you down, especially when those thoughts keep coming in, that making you feel inadequate about yourself. That because sometimes too, some of these things are things that people have said to us, that we
Mm-hmm.
keep on, repeating in our mind, that you are useless, you are this, you will not amount to anything. Look at you, you're a bad person, you are evil, you are a bully. These are people have been saying to you, instead of you to be thinking about your next move. You are thinking about all these things that people said to you, right? So what we want to do is you can listen to music to relax you, and then after you can sit down, especially if you have your goals. This is the time for you, after you, as you're listening to your music, you go back and say, okay, I wanted to achieve my financial goal. What is the first step that I can take? Maybe I might want to book an appointment with my bank, right? If you live in this part of the world, right? If you live in Africa or anything, maybe you want to find a neighborhood susu people that you want to like join a susu group that you can do susu, right? So write down some of the steps that you want to take in order to achieve some of your goals, as you calm down your mind. In that way, when you shift from that negativity and start writing the solutions, the things, the steps you're going to be taking for your goals, then in the next, you shifted your mind from that part, and now you're more focused on how you're going to achieve your goals, right? So these are some of the nuggets that I just wanted to share with everyone. So the most important thing is, whatever we want to do, the first step is we need to acknowledge where we are, write those thoughts down, review them, and find how you can replace them with positive thoughts. And with that, we can achieve anything that we want to achieve in 2023.
Oh my goodness. I'm not going to spoil that. But before my sister leaves, my darling, I want you to talk about your nonprofits and what's coming up, what we can expect in 2023 from the organization. And if you're here in Calgary, then I would entreat you to pay particular attention for what my sister is about to say. Are you still there, Kua?
I am right here. Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself.
Brilliant.
So I do have a nonprofit organization where we are promoting STEM education for young Black children and youth. So we are going to be having a program coming up in from February 4th to March 11th, where we're going to be teaching game design. So if you have children between the ages of 8 to 14, you can register them to join us in this class, and you live in Calgary. So if you live in Calgary and the surrounding areas and you can commute, this is going to be happening in the at a community center in the Northwest. So if you live in the northwest part of town, it's also like literally like about 20 minutes drive from the northeast as well, another part of the city, because it's by the University of Calgary, so it's pretty central. Um, so if you're interested, there's also transit. It's transit accessible as well, so you can go to our website and you can register. I'm going to see if I can share the card in the comment section on this Facebook feed. You can scan it and then you can register your child if you are interested. Please also follow us on our Facebook page. Go like our Facebook page. It's AEJF. So if you type it in AEJF on Facebook, you can like our page, and you can that's where we post most of our events that is happening. Okay. You can also follow us on Instagram. We have an Instagram page, AEJF Canada. So you can come on there as well. So if you are interested, you can join us. We have a lot of things planned. We're going to be doing some career coaching. So for those of you who have career goals for this year, watch out for our career coaching that will be happening sometime in February for adults who want to really improve in their career. I actually have an HR consultant that will be teaching that class as well, and it's going to be free. So please, if you are interested, keep watching our page, and when the time comes, you can register for that class. Okay?
Share the link to the page. I'll be the first person to, yeah, liked it already. Yay! Absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy I've done that. That's the link to the page. I will send the name AEJF on Facebook. Okay? Non-profit organization. They're doing some fabulous things. Guys, unless my sister Ekuamua has any last words for us, I am going to call it a wrap. I tried several times to get people to share, but I guess today was just so powerful and super pumped that you just wanted to let it be and settle in how it was for you. Ekuamua, any last words before we wrap this up?
Well, my last words to everybody is that we should know the power of our thoughts. Know that your thoughts are very, very powerful. And what you think will eventually, it shapes who you are. So it's important that as you're setting your goals and you're hoping to achieve your goals, that you really start by focusing on your thoughts and how you can replace the negative with the positive, and how you can move from a problematic mindset to a solution oriented mindset, and how you can move from a solution mindset to a growth mindset. Okay, those are very, very important information for us. We don't want to be stagnant. We also don't want to retrogress. We want to become better as a community, as a society. We want to influence. We see all around us other ethnicities, other minorities in Canada, even around the world. The Asian, they come to Ghana, they go to Nigeria, and you see how great they become. All of these things got to do with the fact that they are much more solution-oriented people, right? So, and that all starts from the mind, how they are trained as young children. That's why a Chinese person will come to Ghana, and if you don't take care, they will start farming and growing yam. They will start growing cassava. But there are locals there who are not doing so. It's because the mindset have told them that being a farmer is degrading, right? So that is the mindset. Being a farmer is degrading, so they don't want to become a farmer. But a Chinese person will leave China and come and see how fertile your soil is and start growing and exporting to China, right? And the same will happen when you go to Nigeria, they go to Zimbabwe, when you go to South Africa. They will always come and they are willing to do the dirty job, because for them, Yeah, there is no limitation on what a person can do for themselves if they don't limit themselves by setting barriers. Barriers by looking down on yourself, by self shaming yourself, right? So we need to really shift our mindset. Some people will say attitude. Shift your attitude, right? Don't undermine yourself, okay? If you don't learn anything today, nothing today, always ask yourself when there is a problem, say, how can I overcome it? How can I fix it? How?
Oh, my sister is being loved on. Yes, the session has been, oof, yeah, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. I don't even know what else to say. There's nothing more to say. My sister, thank you so much for being here, your time, your energy, your effort. Like, oh, thank you so much. God bless you, my darling. And I hope that you guys have taken something away. I don't know what it is that you're thinking in your brain that is just not the right way to be thinking. I hope that after today, you can begin to unpack some of these limiting beliefs, these negative thoughts that are keeping you and preventing you from being who you need to be, so that you can become that better person that you need to be. I love you guys so much. You guys, oh, I don't know what to say. God bless every single one of you for spending time and for being here. As for my sister Kwama, she knows I love her. You guys are super awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Help me say thank you to my sister Ekwama. Ekwama, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God richly
Thank
bless
you.
you guys. Thank you so much, darling. Yeah. So, guys, we call it a wrap. We're done for today. Sister Ekwama, don't leave. Don't leave. Okay. Bye bye, everybody else. Bye.